Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. So much for bullish reversal signals, am I right? Honestly, everything still looked good when I filmed the video, only for BTC to close down 3.58%. And everything literally changed because of Wintermute and Binance drama. Now, can we all just take a collective step back to think about why these two entities and a supposed lawsuit which hasn't been confirmed publicly by either party, why would that do any negative damage to the crypto market? Who cares who is suing who? Why does crypto always tend to overreact to any news negatively? I'm going to tell you why. And this is something that has been so pronounced ever since October 10th or 11th, whatever it was, when we saw that big crash. Here's the reality. Because crypto is such an easily manipulatable market, in a very small market, and we know crypto is highly emotional, you will actually see people making way more money shorting than going long in terms of leverage. If we think about the entire crypto bull market, well, let's actually leave the word bull out of it. Let's just look at the entire market. We know BTC has been in an amazing uptrend ever since it bottomed out here. And we know that, yes, there are some very punishing downtrends. But for the most part, we see a lot of pain to the downside. Yes, we know that on the macro time frame, got a nice little signal right there that I'm going to take after I finish this video. So I have to close that, but I will not forget. What I need you to know is that, yes, there are some punishing downtrends that can happen, but overall the market goes up. However, the sudden dumps that happen when we get some bearish vibes and it just pushes the envelope to go bearish just enough, a lot of people are making a lot of money off of that pain. You already know this. So the reason why things dump whenever there's any kinds of news is because people are pre-programmed to sell on any news, be it good or bad. Just think, literally a year ago, we had a crypto-friendly president. We still do. And all this nonsense, BTC going up here to 108, and then some crazy news came out. And then what happens? The prices fall 14%, only to go right back up and go right back down. We're basically in a repeat of this. And what I don't want to see is a repeat of this. That's what I'm hoping that we can avoid. But right now it feels very unavoidable. That's pretty much what it looks like is happening. A couple of other things to be aware of. BTC closing below short-term support is not the end of the world, but it's definitely not looking good at all. Now, if we were to look at the all-time high index, right? So we have, all-time history index. I always mix that up. So we've crossed below short-term support, but we're holding on the daily TBO support level. It's still not good. Closing below is bad. But as long as we're above $106,000, we're technically okay. But a sell-off like that's not good. Now, let's go back over here to this chart, because the main thing we need to watch for is to see, at least for BTC USDT on Binance, is the price going to close back above resistance? I'm telling you now, if BTC does a test of previously lost support, something like this, where it goes up and it can't break above, like this over the course of the next 24 hours, we're going lower. Because we're breaking support and then we're testing previously lost support. And if it can't break above, that confirms it as resistance and we go lower. Okay? Now, I need to give you guys a history lesson. If we think about the market performance for BTC over the last 11 Novembers, we know that Bitcoin typically closes around 11%. There's a lot of volatility in November, but October is supposed to be a green month. So is November. Across the board also, total 2, total 3, others, we should be seeing green. Emphasis on the word should. The only flaw with this data is that in a top year, this is typically where we top out. We top out around October or November, which is my initial guess from 2 years ago. Is it possible that BTC can go higher? Yes. Honestly, I say this all the time, and I am not joking here. I'm not trying to be overly emphatic. Yes, literally anything is possible to either direction. There is a lot of news and a lot of scheduled events that are happening this week. If BTC doesn't bounce this week, then it would appear to be over. Nothing has changed in my bearish view either on the weekly or the monthly, having these two TBT bearish divergences, which have accurately plotted the previous top in November 2021, this pullback over here on another chart. So trust me, I haven't forgotten anything. I know that things are bearish, but I'm holding on to some hope that we will see a reversal. That's where I stand. Now, the pink flag here, unfortunately, there's no yellow flag for TradingView. So we had a TBO close short, which is feeling great. And now that we have a breakdown on the 4-hour time frame, this cancels out this. And we're seeing this across the board on lots of charts. For Ethereum, we actually have 3 of these. 3 of these in a row, which is really bad. Now, there is a caveat to this. If this is the bottom of the move, of the explosive move, and we're seeing a TBO breakout cluster at the bottom of the explosive move, then this is most likely a bottoming signal instead of a bearish continuation signal that we go lower. We already know, and we've been watching this support level here that's got moved down more and more. A 7% close is pretty terrible. Are we due for a move back up? Yes, we're overextended. But now, this is where things get really bad. And what makes it so bad is the TBO. So the TBO cloud is this green mass right here. And this green mass will either be extremely wide or it'll start to get extremely constricted, kind of like Bollinger Bands. But the bigger problem is when we get these little pierces below the cloud. That's a sign of being strong bearish. That's a big warning sign. Closing below the daily TBO cloud is extremely bearish. In fact, it's strong bearish. This happened back over here in January, something similar, a pierce below, a close, and then a massive drop on the 23rd of February. When we go below the cloud, that's basically a sign that we should continue to fall down lower. We're basically looking at the same formula. If Ethereum does not close back up inside of the cloud today, Ethereum is in extreme danger of going a lot lower. That's the long and short of it. But stablecoin dominance. This one is also extremely worrisome because of the massive sell-off that we saw yesterday, up 5%. This is the part that I don't like to say out loud. We saw a higher local high. It didn't exceed the pump over here, the panic pump. But this is bad. Moving above this high is not good. That's the unfortunate truth. And on the 4-hour time frame, we have a TBO breakout on the 4-hour. This is extremely similar, by the way, to the ascent that we saw back over here. We have to go back like this. We saw TBO breakout. We had a little bit of a correction, but it just went up higher and higher and higher in March. Same thing over here. TBO breakout shoots up higher, tops out, and then we get a correction. Honestly, this is not good at all. This is Alexander's very bad, no good Monday for you, Tuesday for me. And I've talked a lot about this slow line here. The slow line tells us if the trend is bullish or bearish. It is starting to point up. We also have 2 zones that are extremely important here on stablecoin dominance. We have a market top zone and a bear market confirmation zone. We are very much headed up towards the bear market confirmation zone. As soon as we see stablecoin dominance go up here, that's confirmation, whether or not you like it. We have seen moments where it pierces above, and those have been bottoms, like back over here in April 7th and April 9th, that was a bottom. But now, given the time frame of everything, that we're near the end of the bull market, in my opinion, we have been. If we go up here, then this is confirmation, and then we're done. So what would change? What would change my thesis on all of this? Well, the main things that change my thesis and my thoughts about everything is that even though we see these higher highs on price, it's actually percentage for stablecoin dominance, we're actually looking at lower highs on daily RSI. This might not make any sense to you guys, and that's okay. But if we see daily RSI putting in lower highs, but we're seeing these pushes higher and higher, if anything, we're seeing these higher lows over and over, that's bearish divergence. This is telling me that this move up higher is artificial, or rather, I don't want to use the word, it's not fair, but it's not organic. I think it's a better way to put it. And I think that is how a lot of us agree with the sentiment on the current market. Another thing to be aware of, BTC dominance moved up 1.43% yesterday. That also means a lot of pain for alts. Note that it pushed above immediate TBO resistance here at about 60.66%. On the 4-hour time frame, there is a TBO breakout cluster, 3 in a row. I've been saying for a while, well, it would make sense to see Bitcoin dominance top out at about 61%. We're almost there. So it's taken a long time since I drew this back at the end of September, but I've been expecting Bitcoin dominance to go up to about 61% and then roll over. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to roll over anytime soon, to be completely honest with you. That's a big, big move. It really is. If we're looking at it on the weekly time frame, I can get rid of that. Weekly RSI is heading up here. If I draw a trend line, it's a very crude one, it's above overhead resistance. So it seems and appears that Bitcoin dominance will continue to push up higher. It could push all the way back up here to 65%. If it does, and it makes a double top, that's great. Pushing up here another 7% would be horrendous for the crypto market. It would be really bad to see it push up that high. I'm not expecting that. Again, my target was for Bitcoin dominance to push up to 61%. I drew this a while ago. I was thinking that we would see something like this, pushing up maybe a little bit higher. But I was expecting, and still am expecting, as crazy as it sounds to say out loud, I am expecting to see Bitcoin dominance roll over. It's still in bullish consolidation. It is still trending up higher. So I don't have an idea of when that's going to happen as a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee right now. But I still personally think that we're going to see alts have their time in another couple of weeks, as crazy as that sounds. Ethereum dominance, TBO breakdowns after an explosive move. Hopefully this is a bottoming signal, but that's a very bad signal. Solana dominance retraced all the way down to this overhead resistance line, which is actually our bump and run if we really want to play that game. We break above resistance, we go back down to previously broken resistance, which means we have to push this back down, which means we don't have that target of 4-something%. Now it's more like 377 or so. But maybe that's going to be our bump and run. We have to watch, wait, and see. If we look on the 4-hour time frame for top 10 dominance, TBO breakdown cluster, TotalES.D has 1 TBO breakdown. Totally 100, no TBO breakdowns. We still have our close shorts. TotalES, TBO breakdowns. Totally 50, TBO breakdown. Totally 100, TBO breakdown. Total 3ES, BTC, 3 TBO breakdowns. There's a lot of bearish breaking down that's happening right now. Now, this is going to sound really weird, but honestly, right now, I'm buying a dip on a couple of coins because this is an overreactive sell-off, in my opinion. And I'm still seeing bullish reversal signals forming, which is crazy for a lot of you, I'm sure. And I'm going to get lots of heat for this. But one thing we do need to keep an eye on that will have a negative effect on crypto is the Dixie moving up higher. Yesterday, it moved up 0.17%. It's moving up to immediate resistance here, just over 100. This is going to cause a lot of pain for stocks and for crypto, as well as for world or foreign exchange markets, things like that, okay? It's a big deal. You've got to pay attention to that. That's also a sign that, again, a confirmation sign that I believe that the bear market is coming soon, sooner than later. Nothing has really changed. I have to just scratch my head sometimes when I read the comments where people are saying like, how are you bear or how are you all of a sudden turning bearish? I've been warning you guys for the last 6 to 9 months that the bear market's coming. I don't know what else to tell you if this is news to you. You might be a new subscriber, and I'm thankful, but nothing has really changed. I mean, if you go to my landing page on YouTube, I made a video 2 days ago explaining this whole theory that I've laid out 2 years ago. I already gave you the game plan. So everything right now is happening. It's just things didn't reach the targets that I was previously hoping for. But the reality is that I'm still going to be trading during a bear market, and you can actually make some good money trading during a bear market without leverage. Check out 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. There will be charts that completely disregard whatever Bitcoin is doing, and I show you how to find these and how to trade them in this course. Plus, you get access to the Better Traders Club, which includes TBO, includes alerts, signals like the stop loss hunting alert that we got recently just before the market crashed. There are also links to sign up for FEMEX and also BYDFi down below. So make sure that you sign up for those exchanges so that way you can trade on them. And again, guys, I've told you already, like this shouldn't be a surprise. The timeline is a surprise for sure. I didn't think it'd be happening like this. Now, I'm going to look at some of my picks. If you have coins that you really wanted me to check out, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to check it out. But do me a solid, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, and also share these videos with others online to help me reach my target of 100,000 subs this year. So first off, for some bullish continuation charts, Monero XMR, yes, it had some crazy volatility yesterday, but held up really well despite the rest of the market going absolutely nuts in the worst way possible. Tau still has valid TBO breakouts, even though it's pulling back just a little bit. Dash pushed up even higher yesterday, 32%. This is, again, I made this point yesterday, I'm pretty sure. When Dash is pumping, this is a clear sign that the market is almost done, that we're reaching the end of the market. When we start to get up here to $200 or so, that's a sign that, okay, wrap it up, pack it in, guys, we're done. Just so you know. I also made a very clear point in yesterday's video. Maybe it was for you, maybe it was for people in the Better Traders Club, but I was saying like, hey, if you want to short this, you could, but I don't think it's a good idea, mainly because if things get really overheated and we expect it to go up to 200, then you'll get stopped out pretty fast, which happened. I didn't take a trade. I didn't post a trade setup, mainly because I'm cautious right now of Dash because I know what the end of the market looks like, and Dash pumping is a clear sign that that's what happens at the end. All right, so that's what all those light blue the flags are for. Those are bullish or TBO breakout symbols that are happening on the 4-hour or the daily. These orange flags are denoting TBO closed shorts on the 4-hour or the daily as well. ICP also had a pullback 15%, but it only closed 8% down. I still think that ICP can do well. On the 4-hour time frame, it does have a TBO breakout. So topping out sign, like I shared yesterday, most likely. So we've had our pullback. I think that we could see ICP go up higher, which I'm expecting to have happen, but it's still pretty beat up. Nexo, even though it fell, still has 3 valid TBO closed shorts on the 4-hour. ATH, Ether, has 3 TBO closed shorts on the 4-hour. On the daily, it did print a second TBO breakdown on a 16% drop. It's really testing the limits of our patience, and it put in a newer low. If it doesn't bounce from here, then it's done. It's cooked. It's toast. Bye-bye. But this would be the place for it to actually do something and defy the odds. But right now, it needs to show a lot more volume, bullish buying volume, green candles, because this is pretty rough. Some charts are actually looking bullish still, believe it or not. Zcash continues to push up higher. It closed up 3%. Don't be surprised if Dash and Zcash, Zero Gravity, this one is doing what I was expecting it to do. But other coins, don't be surprised to see them go up higher when everything is crashing. This is typical. There will always be a couple of survivors or life rafts when the ship is sinking, because people will follow coins that are bullish. So that way they park their money there instead of just holding coins that are dropping lower. It's a dangerous game to play, to chase like that. But we know as well that volume still looks good for Zcash. So does on-balance volume. So does daily RSI. It actually put in a nice high here at 83.62 in order for it to remain super bullish. It really does need to push above 88.28, which is a tall order. But I think it can still do it. Zero gravity, zero G. This one had an amazing pump yesterday, and it's now coming back down. So this is actually the sign that we would want to be waiting for a lot of charts that haven't yet bottomed out or beginning to. Not buying into the pump, but buying on the confirmation after the pump, after it retraces back down here to about $1.04 or so. It's a risky play, and don't be impatient. Don't think that this is just going to keep going up like crazy. But this is a really positive sign for a chart that's retraced all the way back down to the listing low. I will say that. Plasma, or XPL, confirmed a TBO open short yesterday, but volume was good. And even though it's having another RSI reset, we have a low here on the 22nd at 1968 and on Sunday at 20.72. So having a slightly higher low, and you're going to laugh at me for this, is actually a good sign. This is actually what hidden bullish divergence looks like. When we have higher lows on RSI and lower lows on the price, this is actually a good sign. Plus, we're looking at XPL now above overhead resistance. So this would actually be the place to consider building a position, starting with the position here. Could it go lower? Yes, it could go down to the listing low, down to below 10 cents, but it's also working its way or trying to push above overhead resistance. The first target's going to be here, in my opinion, just below 40 cents. BNB, as crazy as it sounds, is actually a good buy right here, in my opinion. These are all my opinions, my thoughts. The price fell down and closed at the 1272. On the 4-hour, we do have TBO breakdowns. So what makes this good? Well, I'm seeing a TBT bullish divergence cluster on the hourly time frame, so BNB could actually snap back up. But these are interpreted as scalping signals, as in taking profits quickly and getting out quickly, not as like this is the ultimate Pico bottom entry signal. The time frame should determine your take profit strategy. The time frame should determine your take profit strategy. Please leave a comment and write that down below. Your time frame should determine your take profit strategy. So if you're on the daily time frame, it should take multiple days. If you're on the hourly, it should take multiple hours for your position to close in the profit or close in the green or get stopped out. That's the way it makes the most sense. Cake, this one as well, has TBT bullish divergences and a cluster that's here on the hourly time frame. It's extremely risky, which is why I'm saying it's a scalping signal. BDX remains strong, even though the market crashed. It only closed down 0.35% yesterday. Weird, right? Starknet fell back down to support. Why is this one green? It's because it's holding here at support. Like the fact that it popped up here 30% and it retraced back down to me is a good sign of strength that it could do it again. Zen, this one actually closed up green 10% and it's back to where it was, where it previously fell on Sunday. And it's moving up higher. Still has a valid TBO breakout right here. I think that Zen could continue to do well. The graph, GRT, same story. TBT bullish divergences. No cluster, but a lot of charts are short-term oversold for a scalp. A quick scalp, but most of these are still very much bearish on the daily time frame. Some news over here for these charts. Even though SERP printed a TBO open long, which is that green triangle right there, confirming a bullish uptrend apparently to start, the price actually retraced after pumping 21%. It retraced back to the fast line, didn't close below it. This would be our TBO springboard bounce entry. On the 4-hour time frame, though, we have a TBO close long, which invalidates the breakouts, the white dots that are there. So I can't necessarily bank on the fact that we had those breakouts. So I want to play this safe. That's the way I would interpret it. Trump has printed 3 TBO close longs. Seeing more than one of these in a tight cluster, in a tight or rather short amount of time, this cluster is a bad warning sign for this coin. Morpho printed a really rough 11% close yesterday and a TBO close long. That's not good. The last time we saw one of these, we saw the price fall another 12% before springing back up to the daily fast line. Morpho has continued to be an amazing chart for trading on higher, faster timeframes. TBT bullish divergence is right there. Now, of course, the really bad news. I've been telling you guys that Solana has been in danger. If it closes below this short-term support level, it's most likely finished. Apparently, people have been paying attention because 11% close is just bad news. It's really disappointing for Solana, and a TBO breakdown cluster is really disappointing for the chart. I will give it the benefit of the doubt that it's putting in a really amazing opportunity here if you haven't bought Solana, because we're going to see an RSI reset today, but we're also seeing a lower low. Not as low as the one we saw on the 25th, but it's not good. We're not seeing any strength at all for this chart. DOT, also TBO breakdown cluster. Caspa, TBO breakdown cluster. Flare, it has a TBO breakdown on the daily time frame. It lost support. It put in a deeper cut, a deeper low. So that one is very, very bearish. Bonk, TBO breakdown, two of them, just two, not three, but the first one happened over here. SPX, 3 TBO breakdowns on the 4-hour, and on the daily, 3 TBO breakdowns, and it dropped another 16%. I feel so bad for Murad. CFX, TBO breakdowns, that's done. Now, a couple of charts to just keep in mind. Hype, even though it did fall down 5%, which isn't that bad, it fell back down to previously broken resistance. Now, this could be interpreted as a bump and run if it holds above, which would be insane. But Hype has held up fairly well. I know it's dropped a lot, but this would be the place if you are a risk taker to consider taking a long, because it's still kind of sort of holding at support. I would keep a really tight stop loss if I would be taking a long like this, just because the market is very sketchy right now. Aster fully retraced back down, actually made a slightly lower low, ever so slightly. Very risky coin right now with all the drama that's happening with Binance and all that stuff. Peak crime. But this would be the place that you would, if you're interested in the coin, where you could consider a scalp. Ko AI had some very interesting volatility yesterday. So it actually pumped 130% wick to wick up to 222. Did I have a take profit target up here? No. I so wish I did, but it is what it is. But honestly, a move like this is very, very good in my opinion. It's the first big explosive move we've seen with volume to boot, even though it closed red on the 4-hour time frame. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see. Now, the next symbols I want to look for or wait for are TBO closed shorts or TBT divergence, which I believe will be coming soon for Chain Opera AI. It's not out of the woods yet, but it's a good sign. 2Z, this one lost support and it's fallen down here to the low on Friday, the 10th of October. So this could be interpreted as a double bottom play. If it's going to bounce from here, this would be the place where it should bounce. But you got to watch it closely. Now for your requests. Popcat, CC pool. Popcat dropped 18% yesterday. I still firmly believe that most memes are done. They're toast. They're dead. I don't see them coming back. Yes, their market cap is arguably much smaller than everything else, but it doesn't mean that they're a better buy than everything else. I think that there's going to be a swift, sudden realization that the technology of these coins matters more. That's what I think is going to be happening towards the end of this year as we see coins return to go higher and higher. C-Pool, it looks deceiving. It's up 25% right now. Incredible. After falling yesterday 19%. Now, it just happens to be pumping right now. I don't know if there's good news around it. I think it's just massively oversold on the weekly. It just absolutely tanked. But that's, if it can hold like this for the week, this is a pretty convincing area to consider a long, but it's extremely risky right now, especially with our TBO breakdowns. That's actually the third one, and it has a really deep RSI reset. That's pretty convincing if it's going to hold today. Noise, love the ticker, never heard of it. It did fall brutally 18%, but it has TBO breakdowns as well. We haven't seen an explosive drop really yet on the 4-hour time frame. If it springs from here, that'd be amazing, but it's admittedly quite bearish. On balance volume is below the moving average, which is starting to curl down. Volume has been dropping off a lot. RSI is the only thing that could possibly show a short-term reversal for this. Charts like this, I would be more focused on exiting, or at least reducing my exposure when the price bounces back up to the fast line, which is this thick green line on the daily time frame. Stellar Lumens also followed the crowd, down 8% yesterday, has a deeper RSI reset down to 20.91 on yesterday's close. Typically, RSI resets that are this deep are really good entries, but the problem is that on the 4-hour, of course, there are TBO breakdowns on this move, and it lost the 618. So it's pretty bearish. AMP, actually, this is a chart that I really like a lot for AB trading purposes, not necessarily for buy and hold. AMP, in my opinion, will probably head down a little bit more, 30%. Down here would be an optimal place to identify a new position or start building a new position. I wouldn't be excited about this range right here where it is. I'd much rather wait for it to retrace back down here. That's probably where it's headed next, in my opinion. SUI continues to underperform, falling down 12% yesterday. It does have an RSI reset. Now, if it does confirm it, meaning that RSI goes above 25 today, that'll be a great sign. Then we'll be seeing a significantly higher low while we're seeing lower lows on the price. This would be a very convincing area to either DCA or to start building a position for SUI if you're interested in it, but it is strong bearish and it has been for a while. Plume, strong bearish on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, strong bearish confirmed. On the 4-hour, we do have some bullish reversal signals, but it's also bearish. So right now, I mean, I've been saying this for about a week or two. The damage that happened on the 10th, it basically just plotted out where everything is going to be going. By the bottom of the bear market, everything will go down to the listing low, to the liquidation event low. That's just given us a target because the momentum's already been there for a lot of these charts, unfortunately. Onyx coin lost major support yesterday and it fell a surprising amount, 18%. I could say yay because it's so oversold in the short term, but it's extremely bearish. It's also, just so you know, when weekly RSI is below 25, that's an extremely bearish sign. It doesn't mean buy the dip. It means we're most likely going to see these coins go lower and lower and lower. So it's in danger of going all the way back down here to 0.001 or much lower. Ondo, again, it's still strong bearish. It did lose support. The price fell down to this lower low here. This is looking more and more like I have to just draw this out against my wishes and my will. But it's very, very strong bearish, unfortunately. We had a good bullish reversal sign, but it's still bearish. It does not mean that we might have a short-term bounce. A lot of these are printing these signals right here for a quick scalp, but I don't necessarily think that these are like the savior signals that are going to see the price all of a sudden magically push up higher. So we're in a very rough spot right now because BTC lost the plot, literally. It needs to close above this level. If it approaches resistance and it cannot close above resistance, then we should expect the bearish scenario and things go lower. But again, this does not mean that you will not be able to survive the bear market. I've already shared my thoughts. Make sure that you watch this video that's over here next. It's going to pop up right here. And don't give up hope. I still think that we're going to see a reversal. I still think the end of this year is going to actually be explosively bullish for alts. We're just kicking the can with more and more drama down the road, but I do believe that we are due. So watch this video, and until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.